Want to just quickly talk about some Spider-Man 4 news. I don't know if you heard it. I think I sent you a video during the week. There was some news broke about Spider-Man 4.
Hmm.
Um, basically, I think it's pretty much solid news, but it might still be in the rumorville at the moment. But apparently, Mark Ruffalo, aka the Hulk, is going to have a big part to play in Spider-Man 4. And from what I'm hearing in some of the like potential plot leaks, that he's going to go Savage again. I heard this news, man, and I was just like, oh my god, Alex is going to be so fucking happy if this is true. Like, what's going to apparently happen is, there's going to be an incident in New York, and Hulk's going to go Savage, and he's going to be like the villain of the movie because Spider-Man's going to have to stop the Hulk. I'm just like,
Right.
whoa, that could be fucking great. And then, like, if that opens up to like the likes of Doomsday and Secret Wars happening, and we have Savage Hulk back, I think that would be like fantastic. So I pray it's true. I haven't seen any like official, announcements from, like any of the Hollywood trades saying that, Ruffalo is 100% back, but I think, some very, very solid sources are saying it. So yeah, it's looking good.
I think it'd be cool too during this process to at least bring Samson in so that they can like kind of work on like soothing the mind and having them like, like because Samson's just such a cool character to have in that
Yeah.
in that whole scheme, because like Samson's kind of like Bruce's therapist in the
Hmm.
sense, like for Hulk,
Yeah.
able to kind of contain or enter the mind of the Hulk and like see what's actually going on, what's causing all this. And it's kind of like what I was hoping for when they did Endgame, because like they kind of merged together, but it's like, oh, me and him had a talk, and it's like, oh, come on, man, you could have at least brought Samson into the mix.
Yeah. Um, I think I don't know if they're doing this like bringing back Savage so that they can like maybe do some like story from like the comics, like the way Hulk remembers who Peter is, but Bruce doesn't. Bruce forgets, but like the spell doesn't work on Hulk. So I wonder, are they like maybe doing this to be able to have that payoff in the film, and maybe have that connection. So like there's a big fallout between the Hulk and Spider Man, and then it ends with Savage Hulk going like, "Hey Peter," and then like it's like Peter has that moment where it's like, "Oh my god, somebody remembers who I am." And then you have that kind of great moment and that bonding moment between the two characters, and maybe that's how they kind of resolve the conflict or something. Um, that'd be a pretty cool scene to see. Like, I would really like to see that. I think that'd be really cool. Another rumor for the film as well, and this kind of goes back to something we were talking about earlier. I didn't want to kind of jump straight into it, but there's also a rumor for Spider-Man 4 that the Punisher is going to be in it. Bernthal himself on the big screen. I know we were kind of talking about how it's crazy that he doesn't have a big screen role yet. And funny enough, obviously we had in the last Spider-Man movie we had Daredevil appear, and obviously in the extended cut there's two scenes with him. So yeah, I think it's cool that potentially Spider-Man is bringing some of these Netflix characters to the big screen, which is great. Um, Also, obviously, I saw somebody talking online. I saw a Twitter post about like people like, I can't believe they won't just give Spider-Man a solo movie. Like, why does he have to keep having like people showing up in the movie with him? He can't just have a solo adventure. And I actually think I heard Den and Nerds talking about this, and I think he's right in what he's saying. But I think that's part of the contract between Sony and Marvel, is that to get a Spider-Man in the MCU, there has to be a team up. So there has to be like Marvel giving a character, Sony giving a character. So like Sony gives Spider-Man, Marvel have to give a character. So if you think about every single movie that we've had so far, Spider-Man 1 was Iron Man, Spider-Man 2 was Nick Fury and Maria Hill, Spider-Man 3 was Doc Strange, and then obviously all the Sony characters. And now this one, it's like we need someone from the Avengers, boom, Hulk. So it's adding up.
I mean, I agree. I agree with Sharky on this. Like, it's still named Spider-Man. Like, I think it's so odd that people don't understand that like, it's a fucking universe, man.
Yeah.
Like, let people, like, can people not live? Can Daredevil not like hang out with Spider-Man for a day? Like,
Some of
we
the
wouldn't
best
have had
stories,
Charlie Cox.
yeah, some
Yeah,
of the
we
best
wouldn't have.
stories, in my opinion, are like buddy, like team ups and crossovers and all that stuff. Like, that's why we love the MCU to begin with. This is all about crossovers. Like, so I don't know what people are getting mad about. Like, I do understand, when we first meet Toby Spider Man, it's a solo adventure. When we first meet, um, Andrew Spider Man, it's a solo adventure. We don't really see it's him kind of battling and coming to his powers and learning to adversity and stuff by himself. But this is a different Spider-Man. Like, you know, like you're coming into a Spider-Man that lives in a universe that's a shared universe with an Avengers team. Everything is already pre-established. We have multiple Avengers teams now. We have, like, you know, Eternals and everything. Like, it's crazy. X-Men are coming, crazy shit. You know, it's very different to Toby's Spider-Man and very different to Andrew's Spider-Man, where they're just, there doesn't seem to be any other heroes. They're the only hero of New York City. Like, you know, that's just the way those stories are told. So of course, like, it makes sense that Tom's movie would have Avengers and, you know, different characters coming in because it's a well established universe. Like, you know, he came in what, 2016 for the first time. The MCU been going for 8 years. You know, so of course there's going to be characters. Like, he comes in the middle of a fucking civil war, so of course there's going to be other characters in his films. Like, that's just the way it is.
Mhm.
Go and watch Raimi's Spider-Man if you just want a solo Spider-Man story, like, you know, or go watch, you know, animated or something. I don't know. MCU is not the right place for you if that's what you want.
Dude, I miss animation so much. Like X-Men 97 really shows how awesome like animation can be for these characters, for Marvel characters, for X-Men. And unfortunately, it's just not reflected as such. And I don't know if we'll get a like a rebirth or flourishment of animated shows like we used to back in the 90s, 80s.
I think we're getting there. Like, X-Men 97, fantastic, massive success. We're getting season 2. I think that leads into Spider-Man 98. Like, I think that's a very logical step for them to take. The What If show, rocky, but we got 3 seasons. The Marvel Zombies is coming out. The Spider-Man show that we watched, the freshman year one or whatever it was called, that was fantastic.
That was
You know,
amazing.
and that's gonna get a season 2 too. You know, and again, that's kind of not MCU, but it's kind of dipping into the MCU a bit. Like, you have Charlie Cox playing Daredevil and stuff. Like, it's, that's what we've been talking about this for years. Like, just give us an Avengers story that's just an anime, and, you know, if you want to pay the actors to come in, fantastic. If you don't, whatever. It's Elseworlds. Who gives a shit? Like, you know, just give us the stories. You know, yeah. I think we're getting there.
You know, there's already an Avengers anime, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
It's
seen.
called it's
I
called
haven't
Marvel
watched it.
Future Avengers.
I haven't watched it, but I've seen, like, and there's like loads of like older Avengers shows and stuff as well. Like, but not really my thing, personally. Like, I love the Spider-Man stuff, but even like I haven't seen any of like the later Spider-Man series. You know, I kind of, I don't know. I would prefer to watch live action stuff where I am in life right now. Like, obviously for the podcast, I'm happy to dip into the newer animated stuff that's, like, you know, on Disney Plus and somewhat connected to the MCU and so on. Like, that it makes sense for us to talk about it here, so I'll watch it. But I'm not going back and watching, like, you know, Spectacular Spider-Man from 2010 or whatever. You know, I'm just, I don't know. It feels a little too childish to me. That it's kind of, you know,
Dude, that stuff's so
I'm
good.
I would happily sit down and watch it, like, with my kids, and I hope that I have that chance to do that. But again, it's priorities. It's, you know, how do I spend my time here? And I'm not gonna sit down in some of my free time to watch something. I'm not putting on the Spectacular Spider-Man. You know, if it's family time and the kids want to watch it, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Better than watching, like, my son is obsessed with watching just like YouTube videos on Minecraft, like, you know, and I have to sit and watch that with him sometimes. I would obviously prefer to be watching some Spider-Man instead of that, but, you know, it's his time. Whatever it is, whatever he wants to watch is what we're gonna watch. But yeah, look, again, it's down to priorities. Um, Hey guys, this is Finto. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and like, and let us know in the comments what you think below. See you in the next one. Bye bye.